Welcome to Peter King's Training Camp Tour, presented by Die Hard Batteries and Advance Auto Parts. Peter King with NBC Sports here at Buffalo Bills Training Camp, and I'm joined by Josh Allen. And Josh, I wonder, I saw a quote from you a few weeks ago that talked about people coming up to you and say, man, what a great game you guys played against Kansas City, how exciting it was. And you said, man, do they realize we lost?
Yeah.
And that game still hurts? Does it still hurt?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there's ways that we could have found a way to win that game, and it is what it is, and we're going to learn from it. But, yeah, that's something that's our last game. That's, we always want to end the season on a win. And, unfortunately, there's 31 teams that don't do that, in terms of winning the Super Bowl and whatnot. But, again, we'll learn from it. We'll be better from it. It's going to fuel us. And I know a lot of guys on the team, mostly everybody that was here last year, feels the same way.
At least you helped get a dumb rule changed.
I didn't do anything for that. People want to talk about me trying. I was completely fine with it. That's how the rule's been written. I think it obviously happened to Kansas City the year before that they won the Super Bowl. New England got the ball and never gave it back. So, at that point, I understood. It is what it is, and I'm not complaining about it. But it will be nice, if we're ever in that position again to get the ball back.
Yeah. So, what did you do this offseason to become a better player, to improve your game, if anything?
Yeah, the first part of the offseason was very, very heavy in recovery, letting my body kind of heal up, and took a lot of dings last year and understanding where I can be better in that process, not taking hits, not taking useless hits, getting out of bounds, sliding. So in terms of just watching film and understanding what, like I said, when the decision is to maybe put the shoulder down or to slide or get out of bounds. So I think that's one aspect that I've started looking at and incorporating in kind of my plan. Because, again, the best ability is availability, and I want to be available for this team and be on the field. And secondly, just, again, watching film, understanding defenses a little better, having my eyes in better spots during our concepts, our zone concepts, picking guys, and really flowing off of what they're doing. I've had a lot of conversations with Jordan Palmer. Had a really good conversation actually with Tony Romo not too long ago at the American Century, and just in terms of things I can look at where my eyes should be in certain concepts. So, that's a couple ways.
Jordan Palmer's been a big help. Hasn't he? He's
like my big brother right there.
Yeah.
He's been awesome.
I want to ask you, I was at the Patriots playoff game, and I don't know that I've ever seen a team or maybe a quarterback play a more flawless game, especially against a quality opponent. When you look back at that day, at that night, what do you think of?
It was pretty cold.
Yeah, it was.
It was very cold. Again, guys executed at a high level. It took offensive, defensive side of the ball. It took our special teams too. You talk about taking the wind out of sails, Micah Hyde running over there and picking that ball off in the end zone. They were putting together a nice little drive there to kind of
try to get back in it.
Trade it and relay after our first drive. And I think that's the play, just took the wind, like I said, took the wind out of the sails and allowed us to go out there and kind of play free, understand that our defense, was going to make some plays this game. So, that was a fun game. It was a good game. One that a lot of Bills fans are going to talk about for a long time. But in terms of what we're doing, it was to the next week, and that's kind of how we are now.
In the offseason, I saw you being very supportive in your community when the tragedy at the Top Supermarket happened. And you really kind of emerged as a leader in that whole move. So what was it about that made you want to go out there and kind of comfort those people?
Yeah, I think if you look at it, as a team as a whole, Coach McDermott kind of said, raise your hands if anybody wants to go out there and show support. There was not a single hand down. Everybody in our team that was at OTAs, you saw Stephon Diggs fly in that day just to be there, show his support for the community. It's something that still just feels very, very wrong, feels very weird. But again, to have and share that experience, show our support for the community, and we got to continue to find ways to not let it just be like a one-off thing. We want to continue to show that we support this community, from all of Western New York. And I think, it brought the community closer together. We had Micah Hyde's charity softball game the next day. So again, it's still, again, within the locker room, it's still tough. I know in the community it's still tough, and we're still talking about ways of which we can help.
Last thing, when you look at the great expectations that this team has, can that be a distraction? Do you care that everybody on God's green earth is picking you to win the Super Bowl? Does any of that stuff matter to you? None
of that stuff matters to anybody on this team. Our expectations are where they need to be. We're going into this season, as every team should, is our plan. Our goal is to win the Super Bowl. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. So our plan, again, putting our standard in playoff caliber. Coach McDermott talks about it all the time. Again, just coming out here, working, try to be the best version of ourselves each and every day in order to try to achieve our goal, and that's to win the Super Bowl. So our expectations are higher than what anybody else can put on us, and we're going to stick to that. Isn't it kind of interesting when you come out to practice, people are screaming at you? It sort of reminds me when I was a kid of how they screamed for the Beatles, when they came to the United States. How do you think of that? What's that like for you? There's one memory in my mind that, like, as you say, Beatles, we had just clinched a playoff berth against the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and we landed at the airport. At 2 o'clock in the morning, 30 degrees, and there was thousands of people there, and it was literally like I felt like a rock star getting off like the little plane. I put my fingers up, and everybody just went crazy. So, the support here in Western New York, we're excited to be back here in Rochester area, allowing some of these fans who may not get to Buffalo all that much, get to come out here, show their support. And again, I try to go out there, I try to sign for the kids, and I remember being that kid, so make sure that I give a high five, a wave, or something. Did you get a big autograph when you were a kid? So there's a really cool story. Yeah. I don't know if he minds me telling this story, but I was a big Giants fan, big Giants, 49ers, Warriors fan, and I went to a Giants game. I got a Buster Posey ball. Wow. He came, he signed, and I was so excited. I went to grab the ball, and my finger swiped across the name. So it had like streak marks in it you could barely make out, but I still put it up in my room. I ended up going to my agency in Nashville, CAA, and I actually talked to his agent, and I told him that story, and then a week later I've got a bat signed by Buster Posey. So Buster, thank you. I'm a big fan, obviously, and that was pretty cool. So that was probably my biggest one. We had a Jerry Rice ball. I think we had a Steve Young ball at one point. So it was pretty cool, and again, I remember being that kid, wanting the autographs, looking up to guys in my position. So it's the least I can do to wave, high five, fist bump, maybe sign a little something here or there. I can't sign everybody's, but I try to. Josh Allen, have a great year. Thanks, Peter. A lot. Appreciate you. Oh. For NBC Sports, Bills Camp, this is Peter King. All the best to you. You still got it? Yeah, we got it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.